Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Creator Spotlight. We have two very fabulous creators who are sitting in the spotlight today. I'm going to go ahead and let them both introduce themselves independently. And because met Rima in person, I'm going to let Rima go first.
No, that's fair. Hi, I'm Rima. And it was a pleasure to meet you. I've been playing D&D and other TTRPGs for about a decade now, and I just can't stop. And um, just really happy to be here. I am, if you hadn't guessed, I'm also bi. Uh, I'm really happy to be here and give a voice to Trevor Project as well. So donate, people.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have led with that too. We are doing for Mental Health Month. We picked one charity, so anything that I stream this month, donations are going to go to the Trevor Project, which, in my opinion, is vastly needed right now with the state of the world and everything that's going on. So, whatever you can do. And I will do a little pre-promote too tomorrow. What day is today? Yep, tomorrow. We're gonna do a Star Wars Sagas game where donations affect gameplay, and one of the donations that affects gameplay is you can uh, basically turn us into a Sith. So yeah, so that's happening too. So you can check out that information and stuff on there. But that's for tomorrow. For today, VJ, tell us what you're all about.
Hey folks, my name's VJ Harris. My pronouns are they, them, he, him, and something funny. And by something funny, like one of my friends said, your pronouns are something funny, he. So something like that. Um, I am also bisexual, since we're sharing that. I don't have a flag, unfortunately. I now wish that I did. I am a full-time TTRPG designer and professional GM, and I've been playing D&D and running it for the past 10 years, and I've been playing and running like non-D&D TTRPGs for about 5 or 6 years at this point, I think. And I absolutely love them too.
Yeah, I am obsessed as well. I've been playing D&D for a while, but the indie games are fairly new to me, and streaming I've only been doing since like the end of 2023 when I like signed up for something that I didn't know was a stream and was like, sure, why not? And now I'm just like, yes, I will stream. And I say yes way more than I should and take up all that time, which I'm sure neither of you know anything about.
Nah.
uh, BJ, let's start with you. You talked about designer and stuff. So, what are you designing? Like, what kind of stuff are you doing?
So what I'm predominantly known for in the space is 5e designs, because that's where I got started and that's where most of my stuff is right now. I'm branching out, but I'm one of the co-creators of An Elf and an Orc Had a Little Baby, volumes 1 through 4, which pretty much just like takes the race section from the player's handbook and it like breaks stuff up into parentage and upbringing, so you can one mix and match more often. So like people could make a multiracial Leonin, Mind Flayer, Orc, something.
Love it.
And two, because when I got into the space, a little while after I got into the space as like a reviewer for stuff, there was a conversation about like bioessentialism and racism in D&D, and I got a degree in creative writing with a focus in African American studies and queer studies and like public relations. And so I was like, I could talk about this. And because I was talking about it, a bunch of people were like, hey, you want to design some stuff combating that? I was like, yeah, sure. And then my buddy Adam, who's the co-designer for that Elf and Rock, was like, hey, let's tackle this. And I was like, yes. So
Incredible.
it was very much came from a love of like, let's like pull some of these racist elements out of the game. So yeah, a lot of 5e stuff. I've worked with MCDM Productions a couple of times. Right now, there are 2 game jams. One that hasn't started yet, but Fist Ultra Edition has like an anniversary game jam that's happening. And I'm gonna make a little like cosmic horror bestiary for it, but specifically with like an interview style thing, like social media snippets, that kind of thing, because I love to write, and I was like, I can do my fiction and my design bit. And there's a Sinners and Sea Monsters jam coming up in June through July, and it's like, and I was like, I'm going to make a little guy called Beneath. They're going to go exploring in the water. It's going to be one part research team, one part mercenary group if they start getting into a fight. And so I'm really excited about those two.
I love it. This is legit my most favorite thing about doing this show in particular is watching people just absolutely gush about the shit that they're doing. Like getting so excited. Like we don't, as creators, we don't get enough of that, right? Like we're so busy in the space, like doing the thing and creating. Like we don't get to be excited and share it. So I see it like, you're like at the playground, 5 years old, you're like, look at this thing that I just did.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Yeah, I love it. Hold on to that. It's incredible. And we need more of anything that starts to just absolutely demolish all of this racial bullshit that is going on out there. So yeah, I'm all for that. You can drop your link. I have your links for all your things, but if you've got links specifically for the stuff that you're talking about on there, go ahead and drop them in there. If you don't, we'll add them to the VOD later. You can send them to me later, but for your game specifically too.
Oh.
Yeah,
I shamelessly was like looking it up as you were talking about it. I was like,
love it. Yeah, feel free. You can drop it in there too if you find it. Go right ahead.
I might be on your Twitter.
Let me. Can I find the bundle in Elf and?
Heck yeah, find the things.
Okay.
Promote the shit out of your stuff.
Little baby.
Yeah. And I have I like to live dangerously, so you can just drop links in my chat. Everything is fine.
I'm in fact going to abuse this. I'm about to drop 50 million links in the chat and just annoy everybody.
Yeah. My chat bot is going to yell at you though if you do it too quickly. I will tell you that. They're pretty aggressive.
Make it mad. Make it mad. I dare you.
Make it mad. Make it mad. I double dog dare you. Rima, what the hell are you creating right now?
Ooh, good question. Okay, so right now I'm more of a follower than a creator, I suppose, but I cannot stop gushing about the homebrew adventure that I'm in. It's called Queer and Present Danger. CC with New Age Geeks created this entire like homebrew high fantasy world, and it is like the most fun I've ever had at a table. And the players, like we all have such good chemistry with each other and we play off each other really well. So that has just been like my little pride and joy for the last like almost, oh man, it's been about a year and a half now, but I still don't have enough of it. And I forget sometimes that I'm in the cast and I just show up and I'm like, I need to know what happens next. Like what happens next? So I think it's just a testament to what CC has created and that I have the pleasure of contributing to. And she made us this giant sandbox that we can just play in and make terrible choices. But
I think that's my favorite part of TTRPGs is making terrible choices.
Exactly. Making terrible choices and being so sad.
Yeah.
Right? I know, back and forth. Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to correct you because you said you're not creating your following, but you are part of a really badass show that you're creating in every time you show up. So, yeah, you're doing the creatings. Yeah. I have a question from chat, which I'm gonna warn everyone on the chat. My scroll is being so weird right now. I don't know what's happening. So if I forget names, I apologize. But I think it was Cryptic Creative who asked Rima specifically, but I'm going to pose this to both of you. If you could have any cantrip in real life, what would it be?
I'm lazy as hell. Mage hand. Or honestly, the words prestidigitation, so I wouldn't have to say it. I love both, but I just love ever since I was a kid, if I ever saw any like media where someone could just like like use the force. I would basically you could just choke someone, like, you know, I don't know, you could do all sorts of things if you just have like a random hand that can float. I could just like grab myself one of my bisexual 3 drinks off of whatever counter I left it on. I could reorganize my house like while I'm like watching TV or working on things. I could sweep the floor. I mean, we're thinking about it in D&D settings, but I feel like Mage Hand would be the most useful in everyday life.
That's so practical. I immediately went to, is Speak with Animals a cantrip?
No,
But it's level
unfortunately.
1, I think, right? So, yeah. VJ, what about you?
I've got a tie for 3 and then a 4th one that's just because I'm a menace. Mending, message, and guidance. Mending, obviously, for any of my clothes. Like I've got a pair of shoes that I love, but like the soles are kind of coming off the bottom, and I've super glued them together once before, and I was like, I might need to get some hot glue for them. Message. Who doesn't like sending secret messages? Who doesn't like being a menace to random people? Be like, hey, I see you there. And then guidance, an extra little bit of help, you know? Okay, I want to try this. Let's go. And the one, just because I'm a menace, Eldritch Blast. I don't know when I'd use that, but like,
that's such a choice.
It'd be fine.
You just have it though, just in case.
Just in case, you might need to break it out.
Exactly.
That's wild. That's such a choice. Yeah. I'm laughing at the chat because there's comments like, you know, did you have to pay extra to get the bisexual in the drink and things there? I love chat so much.
I drink only the finest bisexuals.
Incredible. I should add, I am what I consider to be bi plus, which means, I don't know, basically I could like you. That's where I'm at. that's kind of how it goes. Bi plus or pan. But I also don't have a flag, so I'll support the non flag.
I'm just gonna wrap this up right now and just
no, you leave it right
here. Take it.
You leave it right there. You can represent for the rest of us. Ray of Frost was a suggestion. Yeah.
Spare the dying is a good one if you're in healthcare.
Yeah, that did, especially if you work in healthcare. Yeah, that's exactly. I love it. Keep those questions coming. I love it. The more chaos you can bring, the better. As far as I'm concerned. Yeah. The TTRPGs that you're playing, you mentioned some indie stuff. So I discovered Itch a while back, which has basically a shit ton of stuff. And I'm always doing jams and things like that. I started last year doing that, started putting my own stuff out as well. And I feel like there is, if I stopped accumulating things right at this moment, and all I did was play the things that I already have, I would not have enough time to finish them, but that's not going to stop me. I'm still accumulating more things. There's so much great shit out there right now. Everybody's putting out incredible content, for like from one pagers to full on adventures, you know, whatever. So if you could name your top 3 non-mainstream, either a game or a supplement or whatever, where would you go with that?
I know my top 2 for sure. I know my top 3. I would say third place is 10 Candles. Yeah. I was introduced to 10 Candles at PAX U, and it was an Airbnb that had a legit speakeasy in the basement, like lights off, candles on, and I got to be part of the peanut gallery and like watch. It was so fun.
Amazing.
And I was like, I need to play that. I still haven't played it yet, so that's why it gets like third.
I bought the book. I haven't played it yet either.
I also haven't played it, but I was Midnight Media Studios did like a 30 candles where he did like 3 10 candles adventures, and I was one of the editors for it. So or sound designer, whatever you call it. And so it was so fun to listen. I was like, I have to play this game so bad.
Second place is Monster of the Week. I really like, that was kind of my first indie TTRPG, and I love the expansive like characters that you could choose from, and they're always like, every once in a while they're adding more, and I appreciate that. And then my all-time favorite one, and I'm kind of biased because the only time I ever DM'd, it was it was late last year. But it was Big Motherfucking Crab Truckers. It was
Hell yeah.
it was so much fun. I was a player and a DM, so I've played it twice total. It's a lot of fun. It's a 1-pager. And it's these guys in Britain created it, and they were like in a bar, and they just decided to get really drunk and do like a random word generator, and like all of them had to go their separate ways for an hour and just make a TTRPG system out of it. And the guy that won, his like words were crab trucks and fuck yeah or something like that. And he made Big Motherfucking Crab Truckers, and it's really fun.
I love it. I love that all 3 of those that you said were totally different from each other too.
I choices are hard.
Yeah, you picked 3. Are they hard, or is it just more fun? I don't know. Who's to say? We got 2 before VJ. Before you go, we've got 2 in the chat. Somebody, Chelsea, is hoping to run a 1-shot of Heckin' Good Doggos by Wet Ink Games. Which was that on Kickstarter? Because I feel like I just backed that or got that on itch, one or the other. It's in my collection though. And they also said they love Monsters of the Week. They're in a campaign where their PC is a werewolf monstrous called Marcus Jones. I love it. There's so much stuff out there. I have had on my back burner to do a show where people bring their characters that don't get to play anymore, and so they can come and be that character. So that's in the works too.
Bless you.
It's on because I want to come as all my characters too. But VJ, what about you? What's your top 3?
Yeah, so I had to think about this. Okay, so first is Confluence, the Living Archive. Partially it's number 3 for me, partially because one of my closest friends is like the artist on it. And it's okay, so the little spiel for it is Confluence is an expansive tabletop role-playing game of in-world artifacts and atlases built upon a world and a system that grows and changes as you explore. And pretty much essentially, like, it's not like, God, I wish I could describe the system better. I feel like I should be able to describe the system better since I've run it twice now, one for a playtest and one is like an advertising thing from them on stream. And like, if we were gonna play it, I could tell you. It's like my brain's stopping, but it's like,
no pressure.
It's a really words. It's very much pick and grab what you like. You've got your kind of overall like things, obviously, like your archetype and stuff, and you kind of pick and grab out of various things, and it gives you all these cool abilities. And it's just, and they have all these really cool like races and stuff. Like there's this one, God, I can't remember the name of the race. There's this one race that is just like, they kind of molt their body and stuff away to different shapes. There's another one. There's goblins, but they're specifically like fungus creature guys that like are covered in moss and stuff. And it's just really fun. I love it. My second one is Good Society. I love a little, Jane Austen game. I love a little Jane Austen kind of style show. So I love that. So, next to Good Society, this is not technically a TTRPG game that exists, but I ran a game of Good Highway, which is a mashup of Good Society and Atomic Highway, where the premise was just essentially like, hey, one of the ways you get up through society is by like racing cars and building them. And so the mashup of those two are also my favorite within Good Society. And last but not least, Orbital Blues. They've been known as the unofficial Cowboy Bebop TTRPG, and literally it was the first non-D&D TTRPG I played, and I've been in love with it ever since. It is always going to be my number one forever and ever. Even if something else comes out where I'm like, this is functionally better, that has the top spot in my heart forever. It's a space western. It's like gig economy space western kind of game, and it's sad and it's great, and the system just makes me all.
Say
You're
less.
all gooey.
Say less.
I get so gooey about it.
I think it's pretty bold to say that's always going to be number one. That's so bold.
It's a fact. It's
I know
always going to
next
be
to nothing about it, and I'm already know it's going to be in my number one if I play it. I'm sorry, Space Cowboys, Cowboy Bebop.
literally. Also,
Dude.
there is an official Cowboy Bebop TTRPG, which I haven't played yet, but I really desperately want to compare. Like, not to compare it as in like, oh, I hated this one, I love this one, but it's like, how do you do it differently? But Orbital Blues, it literally is always going to have that one special place in my heart. At most, I'll have more games that tie for first with it, but it's never going to lose the first spot.
I just had to approve a chat message.
So anybody in the chat right now, that's my good friend Ben, who gave me the funny pronoun of bottom self. Why, couldn't begin to tell you, but here we are, and Ben comes wherever I am and menaces me. So here we are.
We all
in the
need
chat.
a good menace. We all need a good menace.
Get you a Ben in your life.
Yeah. And right, we're not even halfway through, and I already have a new TTRPG. Actually, half the ones you just said too, because Heckin' Good Doggos, they just came out with another one called Oh My God Cats, or OMG Cats. So yeah, I'm already in. I mean, I buy things that are absurd all the time in these. I won't go through my three, but I want to do two call outs real quick. If Margot Mods Games has a Kickstarter out right now, it's freaking incredible. I'm testing it at the moment. I am horrible because I cannot think of the actual name of it, but it's cool as shit. I will drop that link in the chat. Anything that Andy touches is always phenomenal. So I highly recommend that. And then Goose Poop Games does these bunch of cute little, but good soup. You can actually play with soup, but you basically play as a bunch of forest animals going around collecting ingredients that is needed to mend someone with this bowl of magical soup. It's very cute. But I wanted to shout those two out, and I will find that link. What is the worst one that you've played? What did you play and you were like, yeah, no, never again. This is not for me. I don't know what it was. Because I'm kind of like, yeah, see, this is why I'm asking the question, because like, as someone who just like could go in and just, do all of the silly storytelling the whole time and not, I mean, I love my dice, don't get me wrong, but I'm more about the chaos and the story than anything else and the role play. I can turn any game into anything I want when I get there, even if it's not right. And you have a cool enough GM. So I'm just curious, like, has there been anything that you've been in that you're just like, and you don't have to shout it out. You can just, share the experience or whatever. But yeah. PJ's thinking hard.
I'll give one, but I also love it so much for all the same reasons that I hate it.
Oh, I love that. I'm in already.
The fate system, takes so long to make a dang character, but it is so customizable, and you can do a lot with character creation. But oh my god, just I feel like me making a character I already spend a good portion of time making characters, but I felt like Charlie Day with his cork board with all the yarn in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's like Pepe Sylvia. Like I felt like that making a character. Like I felt like I was just, and it took so long. It took like weeks for me to like just sit down and do it. I mean, it like bursts because my brain hurts so bad. um, but and I guess again, I love the character I made for that campaign, but I could not possibly copy and paste it into another TTRPG setting. It's just it's just so customizable that it does kind of box you into that system. But without that system, I would not have been able to make that character.
I love that answer. It's I'm playing a Mutants and Masterminds series right now, and just on the idea of creating a character, it is the most complex character creation system that I've utilized so far. And it and I could create characters all day and not play really, but but I do love to play. But I think that like the idea of being able to like be so specific and pull from all those areas like creates this so many cool nuances with the character that you have trouble finding. I think like you can put it in, you know, your own story and that kind of stuff, but like just taking having to spend all of that extra time figuring out exactly what you want, I think like dials it in a little bit, you know, to just be able to play with it a little bit more. So I love the system, but I'm still learning it because it's too complex. But I have a GM who makes magic happen, so I don't have. I just say this is the kind of stuff I want to do, and then like they find the, you know, the path to get there or whatever. But yeah, so it's interesting because like I feel like those crunchier systems that break it down like that, uh, they do lead to more nuances with the character, but it takes longer. Is that a kitty you got over there?
Yeah.
Baby.
Are you hiding a kitty?
Hey,
Hello, little black baby.
Oh.
Little black cat.
this is Spooky. I named her that when I was like 15 because her eyes were like way too big for her face. She always looked scared. She grew into them though.
I've been sitting here listening and trying to rack my brain for any game that I'm like, I will never do that again. And I cannot think of a single game where I wouldn't play it again. Honestly, I think part of it is that like, well, I like to treat TTRPGs the way I like to treat food. I'll try anything once with some caveats, right? Like I'm not doing any like weird anything that goes against my morals, I'm not playing it unless it's for the purpose of like deconstructing and be like, hey, we should fix this. But I haven't had to do that. And so anything people have asked, I think I've cultivated a very like specific vibe in the space. So whenever people ask me, hey, you want to play something? It's very much up my alley. So it's like, I don't think there's ever been something that I'm like, I will never play you again. I think there are things that I'm like, I'm not going to play you again, not because I wouldn't, because I don't think I'm going to play it with anybody else. Like I played a game of the Great Underground Mole Fighting League, Mole Hunt, which was a really fun game. I enjoyed it, but I don't foresee myself having people to play with again. So I'm not going to play that again, but not in like a I'm never touching you kind of way.
But I love that though, that like you don't have anything. You know what I mean? Like you're I love that. What about best? I won't say best. Let's go with like the wildest in game that like took you by surprise. You didn't see it coming. Either you facilitated it or it happened to you, like some kind of.
Ooh, I know. Okay. So, okay, a little setup. Previously, me and a bunch of friends were playing a game like every Sunday or Saturday, and then like it's kind of tapered off for the moment. It's on a hiatus. But it's called Strange Hungers, and I had a little guy. named Tazriel, who's a half-orc tiefling. And the man is very affectionate, very flirtatious, very sex positive, the whole 9 yards, he is an agent for an imperialistic military, for an imperialistic government, but he's hot. We're gonna let that go for now. But the important thing is in his backstory, he had a partner. They were both on a mission together, and they died on the mission, and he didn't. So he's carrying around that guilt. And we go out into the wastes of my of the DM's world and stuff, because that's where we're trying to get to. And we meet a hag that can give you powers. So here I am, can you help me bring my partner back? And my friends are trying to be don't do it. And I was like, fine, deal. There and mind you, the hag was like, hey, I can't feel love and comfort. I want to be able to feel that. Here I am thinking I'm about to lose some memories of my partner, the warmth, the comfort, whatever. No. The hag takes away his ability to feel comfort, warmth, anything like that from anybody. When somebody touches them in a way that would give him any type of emotional, any type of physical pleasure or anything like that, it completely feels like he's touching stone, and the hag gets it themselves. When my DM told me that, my jaw dropped. I was like, too much. It literally afterwards, I couldn't stop thinking about it because it was buck wild that that's what happened.
That's so cool. This was last year. One of my longer term campaigns. We were in this tower that we didn't know at the time, but there was a portal open to a chaos dimension, and it was leaking. And so every time a caster tried to cast anything in this tower, wild magic table would be rolled. And my DM loves to use the whimsy table primarily, because if you're going to use that much wild magic, make it weird things you grow a tail for X amount of months, or you lose all your hair or something. But we ended up fighting a juvenile purple worm in there, and I forgot what my cleric did, but whimsy table got rolled, and it landed on the target of the spell ages backwards 2/3 of their maximum age, and it was a juvenile purple worm, so it just became an egg. And I was like, I'll take this egg. I'll just take it, and maybe I can sell it. Maybe we can eat it. I don't know, but this is a pretty good opportunity. I put it in my backpack. We did a short rest, and it hatched. It was not a long effect at all. It and then we were like, no, it's back. And I was like, I'm not good at animal handling, but you know what? I gotta try it. And I was like, I'm gonna see if I can just make it acknowledge that I'm its mother or something. And the DM let me roll it with an insanely high animal handling check. Everybody threw their inspiration at me, got the check done, and then I ended up with a purple worm, and I left it with some druids until I had enough money to awaken it, and now it's an angsty teenager, and we just have a purple worm in our party.
That is incredible. What's its name?
Oh, Kermie the Wormy.
Excellent.
I love it. Kermie the Wormy and a hag story. This is why I ask these questions. Incredible. We do have a question from chat. Chelsea says, what would your dream TTRPG group of 5 to play with consist of? whether they're celebs, alive or dead, people in the TTRPG community, fictional characters, etc. Put your table together.
Okay.
No pressure. And look, anybody that's watching the stream that thinks that they're your bestie and they're gonna say you forgot them or whatever. Look, we forget stuff when we're on streams like this. We don't know what we're doing. No judgment.
I've already got 3 names. I need 2 more.
Ooh.
I already have 3 as well.
Maybe it's a table of 3.
No.
Listen, we're in a 3 theme. I use 3s for everything anyway, but we're in a buy 3.
I got my 5
theme going on. Oh, look at you go, overachiever.
All right, go. I need. Ow, spooky. I need more time.
Lou Wilson, Bria Iyengar, Connie Chang, Dochi, and Megan Thee Stallion. I think the 5 of them together would be a fun little time. I think they'd have a blast together, and it would produce a lot of hijinks and really fun RP.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Betty White. Yeah, Betty White. That's incredible.
Oh my god.
Wait, Betty White, alive or dead, Chelsea?
What? She lives forever. No.
Ghost White, or are we going back in time?
So I'm definitely like going with Bria Iyengar. Yeah. But I
almost want to be like, you can't count that because, but yeah.
It's so great though. Allie Beardsley, because like the Nat 20 stats on Allie is bananas. And I feel like we just need that. And I want Frida Kahlo because I can. I feel like Frida would be really good at D&D. I think she would kick ass. Brennan Lee Mulligan for the yes and like factor, and like a chaos. Friend of mine. Yeah. And then just I want someone that I'm super familiar with, ideally. So like a friend of mine, or like my partner, or just like someone at the table that I can sit next to and not be shy.
Oh, Betty White in her Golden Girls era specifically. Gotcha.
Ooh.
Or Betty White. Honestly, I wouldn't be shy around Betty White. I don't think anyone could.
Who could be shy around Betty White? I don't even know. Games Gatsby says, I want to play with Tolkien as my GM. How long would that game be? I love Tolkien. I have Tolkien actually tattooed on my arm, but that would be such a long game.
He tried to get a whole sleeve. That's my partner, by the way. He tried to get Middle Earth like tattooed as like a full sleeve.
That's incredible.
He has read those books a lot of times.
The Hobbit is my favorite book, just of all books. But because I love just the descriptions of everything, but I'm just like envisioning, like the DM setups where you're like, you walk in and this is what it looks like, and an hour later, go ahead, it's your turn. You know what I mean? It's like
Tolkien would buy the fancy tables. I already know.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It would be like, eating at the Hobbit celebration, It would have that. It would be very fancy. Yeah. What do you have coming up that you're excited about? Yeah, you spend months in session 0 with Tolkien giving exposition of world. Yeah, exactly. I would love it. I would do it all day, but yeah. Session 0 would be like, 5 sessions.
So there's the jam stuff I was talking about, which I'm really excited to do. I I have an opportunity to go and like run a game in like a live studio that I need to make the pit like the full. I need to, where's the sticky note? I'm gonna write that down right now while we're here. I need to write the pitch for it and like how I want to do the casting. And it is a mashup of Good Society, one of the Domains of Dread. I can't remember which one of it is from Van Richten's Guide for Dungeons and Dragons. The Adventure Brinkwood, Blood of Tyrants, which is also a vampire little game, and a third one I haven't picked yet, but essentially the premise is one group of players are the high society vampires sucking society dry. The other group of players are making their way like through a revolution to get to the high society vampires, and then the third, like they'll link up together and have a like big blowout fight. Good Society for the first one, Forged in the Dark, Blades in the Dark, Blood of Brinkwood for the second one. And an unnamed third TTRPG for the like third fight sequence.
So it's the death of capitalism.
Yeah. I'm excited about getting a chance to do that. I put it off to do the pitch, and then I forgot about it, and I'm hoping that I can still get in to do it this year. But if not, it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, time is a weird soup.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited about the next episode of Queer and Present Danger. We had a character death, and my character made an extremely shady deal with a chaos god to bring the PC back. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to traumatize my character more.
Why are we so obsessed with that? Like, right?
Love to be sad.
I worked through my trauma. Yeah. work through the trauma in there. So tell us a little bit about this deal with the chaos god.
So my character, she's a necromancer. She's 10 years old almost. She's like 9. Yeah, she's a little baby, and she kind of like grew up in an environment that's kind of Addams Family-esque, where death is not necessarily talked about like a bad thing. But then her parents actually did die. So, my character's progression through the story is very much like, how do you explain to a child and also to a necromancer like how grieving works, when it's always been talked about, and like death is not necessarily like always like pitch black and bad and everything's awful, that like there's always residual life left behind. So she kind of goes on this adventure and exploration into trying to figure out what she can do now that her parents are gone, and if there's anything that she should be learning to try to make that better in some way, try to maybe go back and fix things. She's still a child, so she thinks maybe I can fix it if I just learn enough. So when this PC died to protect her, and one of the other PCs is also a kid, she kind of saw that as like, oh my god, like another like kind of authority / parental-esque figure is like dead to protect me again. Like I can't have that happen again. So she basically prayed to the chaos god and just said, I'll do anything. And he said, cool, like bet, say less, solved. And that's kind of where we ended session. So I've been
so
like,
juicy.
ooh, yay, I saved you. But also like, oh no.
But I'll do anything is so valid though. Like that's so real.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna come back and bite you in the ass so
Oh,
hard.
so
It's
hard.
gonna be so great.
She already has like little, I can't give away too much, but she carries around like the equivalent of an American Girl doll, with her everywhere. You know, it's meant to look like her. The doll talks sometimes. And you know, it's no coincidence that when she was praying, she asked the doll for help. So
So she's carrying around a little chaos god. Maybe.
She has a friend for sure.
Sorry, what's your class again?
She's a necromancer. But she does have a level of warlock.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Warlocks are so fun to play.
They're the best class in the entire game. I just gotta say that real quick.
He's just throwing it out. Yeah. I had a warlock bard that I'm still sad that I'm not playing it anymore. It was a warlock, started out as warlock and took a level of bard to do slam poetry. And it was incredible. Yeah.
Poetry.
Yeah. I just had so much fun with that one.
I made a character that was a warforged bard that just plays dubstep.
Yes. Love it. How do you handle your or I guess I should say, like, so we talk a lot in general just about the safe spaces at tables and safety tools and lines of bails and stuff like that. I think most of us that are streaming are getting into more of those things that require that than people that are playing at a local table. Usually it's just like, let's go slay the dragon, whatever. Whereas there's a lot more, like just in that story that you were talking about right there, that's just a little tiny snippet of it. And there's a lot of heavy, subjects in there. So like, what kind of things do you utilize at the table that have helped to, to process and to go through stuff as you're doing it?
Frequent check-ins. Now CC is really good about like checking in with us and being like, are you guys okay? Sometimes we will we have like another chat room that the other players can bounce into or we can have a deafen in Discord so that we can keep plot lines a mystery for the other PCs, and we can also like have those conversations and also have the audience be a part of that, which I think is really awesome as well. So just having like frequent check-ins and open communication, although it is called Queer and Present Danger for a reason. All of us are just edgelords, and every time CC checks in with us, we're always like, "Fuck us up! Like we deserve it! Come on,
Let's go.
We're feeding you all of this, and what goes around comes around." And I the way I look at it is kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where you have like children characters and like there are really heavy topics, and but we go about it in a way of like, these are real things though, and as long as everyone's cool with it, then we love to explore those difficult topics and do it gracefully.
I love that. Yeah, the check-in is so critical, and there's so many different tools out there that I feel like it's easier. Maybe I'm just more aware of it now. I don't know, but it seems like it's easier for people to find things that fit better, for whatever table that they're running. What about you, VJ?
So check-ins, obviously, like I run a bunch of paid. What I primarily get paid for, like consistently, is paid games. So I have like 5 games going on right now that I'm. Wait, is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4 games that I'm paid for. First, check-ins, of course, like treating the like consent and checklist as a living document. Like, hey, we're setting this now. Also, if it changes, let me know. Also, we're going to do a formal check-in on this in like 3 to 6 months, whatever feels best for the group. Also having a very clear, like, hey, if something crosses a line somehow, an accident, whatever, and somebody's not feeling great about it anymore, we just call the game there and we just add time on the back end later so everybody can play. You get what you're paying for. Everybody's comfortable. Certain groups, I kind of, as far as like I'll check in after a heavy session, but also some of my tables, like 1 or 2 of my tables will like decomp about it after the session. And so I'll be there like listening and like, I'll be there listening and like making sure everybody's feeling fine after that. And like if like I'm listening and I hear something, I'll like shoot a quick message to the homie to be like, hey, like I was listening, making sure you're just fine and whatnot. It's kind of my go-to for that. For stream games, if I've done this role before, of being like somebody like the safety coordinator. Like if something happens with the player, or if something happens with anybody, they can come tell me, and then I will like advocate for them if they like don't want to do it. Or if I do something, they can always go to the GM, right? So I'm everybody else's. GM is my like kind of accountability person. But yeah.
That's interesting. I've never heard, I talk about this a lot, and I've never, and obviously stream a lot too, I've never heard anybody who had a secondary go-to. Yeah. So just
Yeah.
like another like outlet, another level of security.
It's really good. It's really useful. I've done it. I've done it for a charity. I've done it for like a short game. I've done it for a charity game. I was there's a channel that I was kind of appearing on frequently, Starlight Tales. They had a whole safety team and a couple of different like
Love that.
safety advocates and whatnot that you could like be like, hey, I felt kind of, and I think every game had a safety advocate in it as well. So if something went awry, there was somebody who was there during the session that you could also be like, hey.
I love that. Yeah, the open communication part of it is like so important. Um, the space itself is just like, I don't know, seems to be a lot more coming into it, I guess. So a lot more people too that don't have familiarity with the systems or even like are getting used to maybe how to sit at a table. So yeah, that's interesting. I love that added
That's it.
layer. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, you, just kind of casually mentioned that you are doing these games. Start playing. Is that where you're doing them?
Yeah, that's
Why don't you
where I'm
promote the
going.
crap out of that right now, please?
Hi people. I'm a professional GM over on Start Playing Games. Unfortunately, I don't have any open games for y'all. However, I am available for 1 shot, 1 to 3 shots. I will 2 things I offer. 1, I will run a game for you. I don't care what it is. Tell me the system. If I don't know the system, it might cost a little bit extra for me to like learn it, depending on if it's like close to another system I know, and I know a bunch of different ones. 2, I also will like run a game for you and your friends with the express purpose of you learning how to run the system yourself. So it would essentially be like a co-DMing kind of thing. So I'd still be running it. Yeah, I'd still be running a game for you, like in whatever system. I'll learn it, help you, and give you all of these like what's the word? If it's good, I'll give
Tips
you
and
handouts.
tricks.
Yeah, tips and tricks. I'll give you handouts for it. Like I'll make you little guys. I'll do the whole 9 yards. Because I want more people to play more indie TTRPGs. But yeah, right now I don't have any open games, which I'm happy to say. Actually, I take that back. Hi, I have one game that has space in it because I lost some players. It's called In Strife's Wake. It's in my homebrew world of Emiok, and pretty much what happened was every like 3 to 4,000 years, a calamity strikes. But this calamity was the very first one in the timeline. It's how the elemental planes of fire and ice and blah, blah, blah got created. Like it scorched the earth, the gods brought everybody back. And now like we're dealing with the aftermath. Like it's set 10 years after that. And there are monstrosities coming back because they haven't existed in the world for like 3,000 years. Like something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers, but the players have been marked and essentially might be turning into monstrosities. So they've got to kind of like figure out what's going on with that. Why is it happening? Kind of vibes. And yeah, there's a couple of seats open on that. Yeah.
So it's very cool that you are basically co-GMing and training the GM. And if you're not already, I would be plastering that information all over the place because that's very cool and different than what a lot of people are doing out there.
I have to get better at advertising myself. I made a YouTube video for Dragon Week and I forgot to tell anybody I was doing it.
You do everything else. Like, there's got to be someone that can help you with advertising.
I do have a friend who I keep saying, I need to talk to you about advertising. I need to talk to you about advertising. And then I don't. You know what? I'm putting that on the sticky note too.
I love it. I love it when people add things to the sticky notes. Do it.
I have a question actually for you, VJ. Have you ever been like commissioned to just make a homebrew world for someone or like create an RPG system?
I have not actually. I have been like, so I do, like I said, professional TTRPG there. So I do get commissioned by like third parties and I do drive through RPG stuff and DM Guild stuff. And I did like, I join a lot of charity stuff as well because I'm like, if I can't get my money, I can get my time and my abilities. And there was a Doctors Without Borders charity where I was like, hey, I'll make you a monster. And I like made some monsters for like 3 or 5 people. But wait, actually, I take that back. I have been hired to make a whole system with another person. Unfortunately, it's kind of on the like, it's on the back burner right now. I don't know what's happening with the project. It was a dredge-like TTRPG, and I have been commissioned for that, but haven't finished it. And I would love for more people to commission me to make them systems. I need to do more things outside of 5e, like desperately.
I love writing stuff. It's amazing. I am going to wrap things up because we are actually over our hour. But what I would love for you both to do, I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but I would love for you both to first, if there's anything that we didn't, talk about, you didn't get to talk about, let's go ahead and do that. And then let everybody know where you're going to be, what you're going to do, where they can find you, all those kind of things. But before we do that, I'm going to give you one last question. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Vanilla. I like it simple. I like it's vanilla, and then the second one is strawberry shortcake.
I hate to say it, but yeah, vanilla. I know it's boring, but you could do so much with it. You could make it affogato. You could make root beer float. You can you can make an ice cream sundae. This is my partner is gonna give me so much crud for it, but like I have a hot sauce that I put on vanilla ice cream. It's cinnamon habanero, and
I can see that.
Like apple pie, like warm apple pie right out of the oven with a big scoop of vanilla ice cream and cinnamon hot sauce.
I can feel that, like the salty and a little bit of the kick to it. Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that as being good, actually.
I think this is a first. I don't think we've ever had the same flavor said. So there you go. happened here today.
Soy sauce.
Where
Oh,
soy sauce?
I'm calling the
Mhm.
police.
No, that's just wrong on every level.
You're going to jail.
Yeah,
This one
that's
right,
just. I'm
baby.
sorry, but that's just wrong. Yeah, you can do it, but it would be wrong. Yeah. So yeah, let's tell everybody. I appreciate you being on here, both of you. Let's tell everybody where you are all over the internet, where they can find you, and if there's any last little bits of stuff that you didn't get to shout out, either for yourself or someone else that you want to. The floor is yours. Yeah, whoever wants to jump on it.
VJ for sure. They're excited.
I mean,
They got
I
something
was
cooking.
like,
I
yeah.
literally just
Mhm.
remembered something. I was like, God, I need to get better at this. Hey everybody, you can find me at VJH Creations everywhere on the internet. And if it's not VJH Creations, it's VJH_Creations, which is just Instagram. But I am on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr. I don't know what I'm posting there yet, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, if you want me to run something for you, you can. If you want me to help you learn something, you can do that too. But the most important thing I would like to share is, hey folks, to get a little heavy here, a friend of mine has cancer and I'm doing a itch fundraiser bundle to raise money for them. And if anybody's interested in either donating or spreading the word around, please do. We got about 17 days left in the bundle. We're not going to hit our goal, but any bit helps. And I'm just going to
Listen,
drop
you
that
don't
in the
know
chat.
that. Don't put that out there. You are going to hit your goal.
The
Manifest
goal's
the shit out of that.
$20,000 and we're
That's all
at
right. It's okay.
335. I don't think we're
It's
hitting
all right.
that, but every little bit counts.
You don't know.
Get in the donation link, folks.
Yeah,
We're behind schedule.
that's right.
All right. I am Rima. You can find me on Twitch at Rima Rabbit, and every other Wednesday you can find me on the New Age Geeks channel. That's new_age_geeks for queer and present danger. And other than that, you can find me at LARPing events and yeah, any kind of like LARPing event in Southern California. If it's post-apocalyptic themed, I've probably been to it. And then the Labyrinth Masquerade Ball. Catch me at the Red Fair every single weekend. It's a problem, and I'm not ashamed. I will not stop. And then I'm Rima Rabbit on most socials. And then I'm like on Twitter, I am Rima Rabbit _TTV.
And all those links are down in there. We'll do that. I am terrible at rating, but I am going to do my best to rate over. I think New Age Geeks is actually live right now, possibly. So I'm going to try to get in there. So if you are in the chat and you want to hang out for just a second so we can get on over there and give them some love, we appreciate that. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you both for being here and sharing the love and all your crazy adventures. We appreciate it very much. And yeah, thanks, chat. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.